Hi guys, welcome to EB Education Consult. And as you know, we provide study abroad tips for people who are interested in studying abroad, but they do not know how to start from. In our previous live sessions, we have talked about how to find fundings for masters and PhD studies in the United States. Today, we are coming to Europe. I mean, it's more or less home, and I have with me two experienced individuals who have gone through the German education system following their bachelor's in Ghana. And the first is Emmanuel Houston. He's still currently in Germany. He's graduated from um, master's in agribusiness and rural development, right?
Yeah.
Uh, when the time is up, he would talk more about himself. And yes, Dickson is my own brother. Um, we've, we've been doing this talk behind the scene, and yeah, today he's also going to share his experience with us. Beyond their experiences, they are also going to tell us more about available options for international students to study in Germany. Dixon is also a graduate of master's program in, yeah, you tell us, yeah, and also working in Germany at the moment. So I would welcome um, Emmanuel Houston to uh, tell us more about himself, and after him, Dixon will tell us about himself as well.
All right. Um, Thank you very much, Dr. Enoch, for the opportunity to do this webinar and share my experiences. And so in Germany, we say Guten Abend allerseits, meaning good evening, everyone. And then I will also say, Wie geht es allen? I ask, how are you all doing? Good.
We are doing great.
So, yeah. And so for those of you watching from across the world, I welcome you all to this webinar. So my name is Emmanuel Houston Kwashi. Of course, I come from Ghana, and I came to study my master's degree here, master's degree in international agribusiness and rural development economics. So I'm done. Looking forward to a PhD program, which I'm I'm graciously looking for. Yeah. Before that, before coming to Germany, I worked with two international NGOs. First with World Vision International as project facilitator for a special cocoa project for the Mondelez International Cocoa Life. It's a special project that came on board, and
Do you
I
know
was
that when you mentioned about when I read about your profile, I also worked for Mondelez, but when as a public-private partnership for Cocoa Board in Ghana before I came to Europe.
that's good.
Yeah,
That's good. That's
just
good.
by the
Yes,
way.
that's good. Right. So after that, I left to Solidaridad, West Africa, and I also where I was a program officer for another specialized cocoa project. Yeah, they call it Next Generation Cocoa Youth, or simply short, MASU project. And so it was a 4-year project I was on until I came to Germany for my master's degree. Until recently, I was also a market research analyst, project consultant for um, a firm back in Ghana. I was doing it remotely, but currently I work with Amazon as a problem solve lead. Yeah. So basically, this is a synopsis of my background. But of course, I'm looking forward to having a fruitful engagement with everybody watching from across the world, and we share experiences together. Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. Dixon, hello Dixon, can you tell us about yourself?
All right. So I'll welcome all our viewers to tonight's edition of your show. My name is Kojo Sapon Dickson. Um, I did my bachelor's at University for Development Studies, the World Campus. And after I worked with the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, taking up various positions at my department, Social Welfare and Community Development. I had a privilege also working with the High Courts in many occasions. I also became a trainer for the Rural Enterprise Project as well. And it became obvious that I needed to scale up my skills. So definitely education was one of the most important assets that I needed at the time. So together with my coordinating director at the time, Mr. Toji, he encouraged me to move ahead, and my girlfriend at the time as well, and now my wife. So I decided to come here for my master's in social protection, which I'm done now. But then I'm currently working at the Frankfurt Airport, completely different from what I did. But of course, I love challenges and embracing new opportunities. So technically, that is what I'm into now in Germany.
And thank you so much, Ima and Dixon, for devoting your time to share your experiences with us and also to enlighten our viewers and listeners about the opportunities um, to study in Germany. Before we dive into the various questions, I would also want to invite our viewers and listeners to post any question they have in the comment section, and I will read them out to our speakers when the time is due for them to um, tackle the various questions. I will start it with Ima. Can you tell us about your journey from Ghana to Germany in terms of studying and we want to know and what we can learn from how you found the opportunity and how it all began.
Right. Again, thank you, Dr. Enoch, for the question. So, my journey to Germany began sometime in 2016. Previously, 2015, but I was denied a visa in 2015 because I wasn't having sufficient fund, which I'll be talking later within the as we go along. So, 2016. So after I was denied, um, 2015, I quickly reapplied for the same program. And so I wrote to my program coordinator at the time and the challenges I was having. And so she was gracious enough she told me she was going to hold my position, my admission.
Admission.
Yeah. And that she was going to issue a new admission for me so that I can start the process well ahead of time, and which she did.
Wow.
So I got the admission late 2015, and so the whole of 2016 I started the process. So before I came to Germany, there were a lot of opportunities back in the companies I've worked in. So anytime I went for interviews, I mean for senior positions, I do well in the interviews, but they told me your qualification doesn't match, blah 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 blah. So it was becoming very frustrating. So one day I went to and I said, no, it's about time to do my masters, and therefore I wouldn't like to do it in Ghana because all the friends I know doing masters in Ghana, very frustrating. Your professor, can choose to travel out without even reading your project.
Anytime.
It was, yeah. I mean, I knew people who spent 5 years doing master's degree. It was very, very, very frustrating. I mean, so I was browsing the net and I said, no, let me look for the programs that I'm interested in. So
Mhm.
I I chanced upon the SIA program. The entire program is Sustainable International Agriculture. Of
Mhm.
course, I studied agriculture at the University of Cape Coast, so I decided to do something similar to that. So, but there are three profiles you have to major in. So the entire program is Sustainable International Agriculture. And then we have three profiles. We have the first profile is the agribusiness, international agribusiness, and rural development economics. Then the second profile is organic agriculture. Then the third one is tropical agriculture. So I decided to choose the first profile, which is the international
Agribusiness.
agribusiness and
Yeah.
rural development economics. So I did, and like I said, I was given an admission letter, and I started the process back in Ghana. I don't know if I should start the process now, maybe, or you ask me a question later about the processes I went through, the visa application and all that. I don't know if you want me to say it now or you want me to.
We will talk about the visa
Okay,
application process
okay, all right.
subsequently. You
So
can tell us how you are, like you said, you search. And which university was it for this
yeah,
program?
University of Göttingen, Göttingen.
Göttingen, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Guys,
mm,
please take note of it.
yeah. So University of Göttingen, and University of Göttingen is I didn't even know at the time, but when I was doing microbiology back in the university, UCC, I don't know
Mhm.
if you know Dr. Nampra, where
Anampra,
yeah,
animal science.
he was, and so the first time I heard of University of Göttingen was when Robert Koch, that famous microbiology
Yes,
gist,
who developed
yeah, who
the
developed
magnifying glass? Yeah.
exactly. So when I came to the university and I was reading about the history of the university, it was there it got to me that it's a famous university. It's a famous and the oldest university within the state of Lower Saxony or Niedersachsen.
Okay.
And it is noted for great scientists like Carl Friedrich Gauss, noted for Robert Koch, noted for Gerhard Schroeder, the former Chancellor of Germany. It's also noted for JP Morgan, the American JP Morgan, also schooled here, and a host of
Actually,
others.
there is a bank by name in the
Yes,
USA,
yes,
JP
yes.
Morgan. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, JP Morgan.
you
Yeah.
know, it was, I didn't even know it was a famous university. So when I came,
Yeah.
and you could see the pressure. I mean, it's a prestigious university, so nobody even tells you to go and study. You have to go and study. Otherwise, man, you lag behind. So, um, fortunately, I came and the studies went as planned. But then there is another experience I'll be sharing later if there was time. If there's time,
Mhm. Okay.
something happened at the visa processing, which delayed
Okay.
my visa for 2.5 months. And when I
Okay.
came, I had to be learning. I have to be doing a reverse learning. So I
Okay.
learned previous note in the night, and I was learning the current note in the day during the day.
That's
So
fine.
yeah, okay,
That's fine.
yeah,
So quickly on you before I come to Dixon, you said you were searching and then you found this. And when you found it, what made it interesting to you? What were the requirements that you needed to meet to be able to um, do the application and successfully go through? Was there any interview that you had to go
yes,
through? What was it?
okay. So like I said, when I became fed up with the system I was working in back in Ghana, I decided to go to school and upgrade myself. So the first thing you need to do is to browse the internet, look for universities and the programs that you want to do at the master's level. So the general application is that when you select the course or the program you want to study and you meet the requirement, the first thing you need to do is to apply. So in the application process, you upload your transcripts, your certificates. Um, During my time, they asked for IELTS. IELTS is the English, the International English Testing
English
System
language,
language.
English
Yeah,
language.
yeah. So they requested for it, and also asked me to. So, but I wrote to my coordinator at the time again that I come from an English speaking country and that at the time I'm applying, I don't have the IELTS. So if I can provide my uh,
Proficiency certificate
proficiency
letter.
attestation, letter, which I did. But she told me that unfortunately I have to provide when I get here, if I can do it later and send it to her. So quickly I had to go to British Council, register for the next
Register.
available slot, and I watched YouTube videos and other things. I didn't even go for any class. I was just learning at home, and I went and I passed. So I quickly sent the result to her and she put it on file. And so these are the things you need to do. The first thing. So as soon as you are given the admission letter, quickly you have to go to the German embassy in Ghana, take the application form. Now I hear it is online, but before you have to go for the application form, fill it, and then return it on the return it or submit it, and then you'll be given an appointment for interview. Now, after the application submission, you go home, of course, and you'll be there, and then they'll send you an email. Normally, they correspond with email, not call or anything. And so they send me an email that I should provide this. Now, at the time when you put in the application and they ask you to open a block account, automatically you are going to get the visa. As soon as you cross that stage or you reach that stage, they ask you to open a block account, automatically are going to get the visa. So I was asked at the time, the block account was done by the German embassy themselves. Not now that is private. You have to do it yourself and bring the block account number and those things. No. So I went to the embassy. They gave me the bank account, the block bank account, where I transferred the money into it and returned the receipts and everything to them. And so I was asked to go home again, and I'll hear from them. And then much later, I was asked to come again. Now, usually when they call you after the block account, they tell you to, when you are coming, you should bring your travel
itinerary
and insurance. But in my case, okay, so I'm going to tell you what happened now.
Ima, can you pause now? There is Evans Anto. Actually, he should be watching from the second link and not like the studio. He's in the studio, but I think he should be joining from the second link.
Somebody is going to join?
No, he joined the studio.
Okay.
Evans Anto, if you know him.
Oh no. The link you provided me is what I put on my Facebook wall.
Okay, I will send him this link to. Okay, yeah, I think he's linked already. Yeah. Okay. Let's continue, please.
Okay. All right. So when you cross the bank, you were asked to come. When they call you after you submit the itinerary and the travel insurance and all that. But in my case, they just asked me to come. So I asked, should I bring my itinerary and all that? And say no, I should come. So when I went, they handed my passport to me without the visa and other things. So when they enclosed a letter explaining the reason why I was rejected. Mm-hmm. So I quickly opened the letter in front of them and read it. And I said, no. In the letter, they asked me to bring an extension of enrollment. Normally, when your admission letter, there's a date on it, when it expires, they ask you, because the processing takes time, they ask you to bring an extension. So they had asked me to bring it. I submitted through their email and even sent a hard copy to them. But for whatever reason, I don't know, they didn't see it. I don't know whether it was an oversight, I don't know. Then they said that because of that, they were going to reject me. And I said, no, I even have it on my phone. I show it to them that this is it. They said, okay, then I should go outside and talk to those guys at the security. They will tell me what to do. So when I go there, they told me, so I'm telling now what happened and my visa delayed. So they asked me to write a letter of appeal. And the letter of appeal, you must write and add all the processes ever since you started the application, all the documents, you must add them again one by one. And I said, wow. So this was a Thursday. The following morning, Friday, I was there before they even opened the embassy because I went to and I did everything. Now I submitted. I submitted. This was in October. I submitted. No, this was in September. September, I was supposed to travel and come and have orientation and all that. So I went to. I was thinking these guys are going to call me. A month passed. They didn't call. When I call, they warned me not to call again. And that's when everything goes to, they will call me. So I decided not to call. 2 months passed. I didn't hear anything. November ended. I didn't hear anything. Then we entered December. I said, I know you. So I decided to write back to my coordinator and tell her that this is the situation and that I don't know, maybe I'll start the process again next year. And then I didn't write. The team was telling me to do it, but I don't know whatever reason, something was holding me back. So I didn't write. Then on the 8th of December, I woke up that morning. I was so frustrated. I don't know where to even go. Now, I had resigned from my job. Solidarity.
Mm.
Yeah, because I thought I was going to travel. I mean, everything was clear. I don't know where to go. So I went outside the house and I was thinking of where to go that morning. And I left my phone in the room. Then I got back to the room and I saw over 10 missed calls. I look at it and it was from the embassy. So when I called, they told me, they asked me whether I'm Emmanuel Houston question. I say yes. Then they told me my visa is ready and that I should come for, when I'm coming, I should bring my travel itinerary and insurance.
So now I can understand two things. If they ask you to bring that, it means they have approved it. If not,
Yes.
then they have not
Yes.
approved it.
Yes.
Interesting.
You can
Okay.
imagine the joy in the room. The way I shouted in that room, and
I can
everybody in the
understand.
house asked me what happened.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We will come back to
Yeah.
you, but now
Yeah.
I want to bring on Dixon. How
Yeah.
was your experience? How did you find the opportunity and how was the application process?
Well, I think mine was a little bit of flexibility. I really can tell that I went through some stress, just like Kwashi is saying. But I think just along the line, I felt like if I should travel abroad, it should only be based on education. I
Hmm.
was really not ready
Oh, this thing has frozen.
So one day I was just having a discussion with my girlfriend, now my wife, and it became obvious that hey man, you need to travel out for your masters because she knew what I could do, the stuffs that I was doing at my workplace in on private levels and all that. So definitely I felt I needed it as well. So just one day I was looking at my field and personally I love working with vulnerable groups and all that. So I decided to look at programs that pertains to my line of work. So I was looking at poverty and I was looking at climate change and impact on livelihoods and all that. And I felt like, okay, then possibly I could look at social protection as an interest area. Then, boom, I got a program in St. Augustine's near Bonn in North Rhine-Westphalia. So that was the only application that I did.
You made.
So I submitted everything. Within some few I think weeks, I got a feedback, and definitely I was asked to answer some questions, which I did, and just within some few hours, I received my admission letter. I said, "Whoa!"
Wow.
Now, the next was the issue, just like Kwashi indicated. So it was at the financial stage where you need to prove how you're going to finance
Can you be
your
stable now like this? Because now the light seems good. And
okay, all right.
the speech is
So you kind of look at how you are going to finance your trip, your
mhm.
studies and everything. And I think Kwashi mentioned an aspect of it, which is a block account, but I use the other alternative,
Which is
which was the
sponsor in
what do
Germany.
you call it? Exactly. So that is what I use. I use the form
Obligation.
obligation,
Is it
which in
obligation?
Germany we call it the Verpflichtungserklärung. Yes.
Okay.
So that is what I use. But it's funny. Let me tell you the story behind it. So I was kind of indisposed one day. Then my uncle called me that he was in town if I could meet him because I wasn't at work. I decided to. Then lo and behold,
In
one
Ghana.
of my
In Ghana.
yeah in Ghana. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. And one of my friends, Dr. Yahoo, thank you so much, bro. Way back from UDS, saw me. Hey, Papa Dick. Now we're there, and I was like, oh, Charlie, my name is Uncle Nawaha. Maka maka. So
Okay.
it was very interesting. And he said, yeah, I was even talking to one of our colleagues in Germany, and I said, who? Then he mentioned the guy's name. He's currently an army officer in the US, and I said, oh wow. Then I told him about my admission and the quest for
Oh,
his number.
Dixon, your internet is
It's
cutting.
fluctuating, right?
Yes.
Okay, I see. So is it stable now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. You can go ahead.
Okay. So we got in touch with our colleague. It was really an eye opener. Not knowing he knew someone who was ready to do it.
Oh, okay.
So, like joke, it worked. It clicked. I submitted everything, and in the end, it took 8 good weeks for
Wow.
me to be called to submit my travel itinerary. and 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 you know the funny thing, this is
Mm-hmm.
where I was contracted by one US agency,
Mm-hmm.
whose name I can mention through the effort of one of my best buddies at workplace. And believe me, on the very day I was there to sign the contract to start that field work, that was the day that they called me to submit my travel itinerary and my insurance.
Wow.
Wow.
Exactly 8 weeks. So
Great
I
experience.
felt exactly. So I
But
think
mine was more
Peter,
than yours. 2.5 months, man.
yeah, yeah. So Peter even told me that once it is more than 2 weeks, 1 month, then definitely it's a yes. So he was kind of convinced that I was going to get it, regardless of the delay. So it was really an interesting journey, and I must say probably mine was a little bit flexible than Kwashi's.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Great.
But
Yeah,
it gave I nearly died. Oh.
yeah.
Okay.
I understand.
Uh,
Yeah,
Ima,
Yeah.
quickly, I know you mentioned about the blog account, and I know I have an idea about it, but someone is asking a question. Theophilus Cole
yeah.
is asking, what is the blog account? Can you explain a little bit?
Okay. So the blocked past tense blocked account is a type of account that is open in your name or the name of the student that is coming to Germany, and it is open with accredited German banks. It could be Deutsche Bank, it could be Commerce Bank, it could be whatever bank, provided it's in
I think
Germany.
I think now they have Fintiba and the
Yeah,
others. I don't know.
good.
Yeah.
So the account is blocked, is open, all right, but it is blocked in your name. Nobody access it. So until you come here or you travel to Germany, you cannot access it. So when you transfer the money into that account, it's in your name. Nobody touches it. Then
Okay,
when you come,
before you
mhm,
continue, so the blog account is so in most German universities there is free tuition or you pay a
Yeah.
certain minimum,
yeah,
It
but
yeah,
just it
they
just it,
require you to create an account that you will put a certain amount of money for your expenses, for your living
exactly,
expenses.
exactly.
Okay.
So
Uh,
now at the time it was 8,000 euros. That's
Okay.
2016 thereabouts coming
Mm-hmm.
down. But this year the things have changed. In fact, last year it has also changed. Every year they start increasing it. Now it is
12,000, more than
almost
12,000, I think.
12,000 euros
Yeah.
Okay.
because it is
The cost
monthly.
of living
They
at the
expect
time,
cost of living. Yeah, they expect you to spend like 992 euros, and so when you
minimum.
calculate that by 12, you get like 11,900 and something, and so let's approximately 12,000. So now, if you want to come with that route, you have to put 12,000 euros in that block account. So, like I
Okay.
was explaining, the block account is a special account open in your name. Nobody has access to it until you come here. So, when you come here, you go to the bank where it is. Then you present your document that you have a block account with this bank. Then they can give you the PIN and all that for you to start operating the account. Yeah, that's how it is.
And
Yeah.
you can
So
take just
Enoch,
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Okay.
Enoch, I think,
Yeah.
to add a bit of it to the whole narrative. So you want to go to Germany, then the German government will ask you, are you sure you can take care of yourself for like a year? Then you say
Mhm.
yes. Then they say, okay, prove to us that you can do that. Then they ask you, just like Emma said, put this amount of money in this account. And every month we restrict you on how much you can take. So the
Exactly.
money is yours, but you don't have absolute control
Yeah.
on the withdrawal rate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is the whole thing. So you
Exactly.
can withdraw the money. Maybe they say, okay, you can take a 900 every month. Then that's what you can do. But others were fortunate. During our time, my colleagues were able to withdraw all the money when they got here.
Yeah. People borrow money actually.
So they have
Sorry,
to send
I'm
it back.
revealing this secret. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. So some of them were able to withdraw the money, but I think subsequently it wasn't that way. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
they were really strict. Yeah,
Yeah.
So I understand that actually from the two narratives, one can have somebody guarantee for him or her in
exactly.
Germany
In my case, that
in
is
your
in my
case,
case. Yes,
and
and
then
in my
another
case for the other.
you have to build that account or create that
Exactly,
blog account.
exactly.
So, guys, if you are listening in Germany, it looks like there's an opportunity to study, even if you are not on full scholarship, but you have to prove that you will be able to sustain yourself by creating an account for your monthly expenses for at least the first 1 year. Right.
Yeah, I always keep saying that for me to probably think of schooling in Germany,
Dixon is.
and compared to how much you spend in Germany, it is way, way, way better and cheaper. And
Yeah.
yeah, so
Mm, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for
yeah,
that.
But of course, we
So,
have other routes like scholarship too, which we'll be talking about very
scholarship
soon.
as
we're
well.
going to
Yeah,
talk about
yeah,
it. We're going to
yeah,
talk about it. So
yeah.
basically, thank you for your experience. And when you got to campus, how was it? Like, I mean, how did you find your way and all those things?
Well, for me, my program was a cross-cutting one. So we had many people coming from the Latin Americas, coming from the US, Canada, Bangladesh, like the Asian hub, Africa, everywhere, everywhere, because it's more or less a design program that is supporting the World Bank and the Sustainable Development Bank as well to fight against poverty and
Hmm.
vulnerability. So definitely they are building ambassadors with skillful knowledge to make impacts in their various communities and countries. So it was fun, especially meeting your own people. Some of them you could speak the same language, and definitely it had its own ups and downs, but then definitely it was worth the cost. So, and I think our professor was so good to everyone as well, and definitely I think on that tangent we really didn't have much problem as well. There was flexibility, even though the first 6 months you had to be in class, but after the first 6 months it was purely online program. So it was more flexible. You could just go to work, and because I remember sometimes I would be at work and still have my headset on and enjoying my online class and contributing, asking questions and writing stuff down and all that. So it was really cool compared to probably back home where such privileges will not be afforded to you.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
Doctor Asare is here, and he's asking if the guarantee system is still in operation
Yeah,
currently.
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is still
It's
there.
still. It's
Yeah,
still. Mm,
it's still there.
Okay.
yeah.
Actually,
Tell
So
you tell
Asare.
Doc Doc. We had a call yesterday, but he failed to honor it.
Oh, okay. And actually,
Yeah,
he also has experience with his doctorate in Germany. So,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, maybe for some time
yeah.
past, he's
Sure.
not very much. Okay,
Yeah,
that's great. And
yeah.
now,
So maybe a
mhm,
bit like a bit of my spirit, like you asked.
yeah.
So when I came, I was not like I said. I my
You already late.
yeah. So when I came, my a program coordinator asked me to come to her office straight for when I land, and for me to get a little bit of orientation. So indeed,
Yeah,
she did, and I must say that look, Germans are very professional when it comes to stuff like that, and they don't delay. Anytime you send them email, quickly they reply, and they know the
You
challenges they have.
you comparing Germany to Ghana because these are the only two experiences you have.
I don't want to mention it.
So
Yeah, anyway,
so
yeah,
you
it's
can
true.
go ahead. But
Yes.
yeah, I
So
understand what you mean.
yeah, so when I went to her office, she gave me a little orientation and even told me that, look, I should take my time. I shouldn't take courses that semester because the semester was ending. Otherwise, I was going to fail or I will not get good grades. And indeed, I didn't do it. But as for Dinty, I took one course. Charlie, I don't get good grade. And that course, that was how I was saying that I was learning, I was doing reverse learning. Late in the night, I was learning past notes and yeah, but of course, in my class, we were 60 people or students from different countries. And at the end, when we went at the I think the third semester, we were reduced to about 30. Others have gone to the next profile because of econometrics. A lot of people don't like econometrics. I mean, this is economics. So,
Yeah.
yeah. They ran away to the second profile, organic agriculture, and some also ran to tropical agriculture. But even there, they even meet statistics, which they also find difficult, but they couldn't go anywhere, so they have to stay there. So,
All right.
that's
All right.
these are the dynamics.
All right.
So yeah,
Thank you. Thank you
mm,
on those interesting journey that you have
yeah,
shared with us.
yeah, yeah.
Now to the main question. Actually, Doc is still asking, but maybe I think he missed it.
Yeah, yeah. I think
I have
you've
already
answered.
sent him the
Yeah,
comment. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So now we know that you people went with different routes, but the question now is, what are the chances for international students? Let's focus more on postgraduate studies. We may
yeah,
chip in some undergraduate studies issues
yeah.
who have bachelors in diverse background. What are the funding opportunities available for them to study in Germany? Can you enlighten us on such
Should I
opportunities?
take it or Dixon?
You can start. Maybe if something is missing, Dixon will chip it in, and Dixon will take the next question, the next
Okay,
main question.
okay. So you are talking about funding. All right. So there are different ways of funding uh, graduate programs here. So let me state that in Germany, in most universities, bachelor's or degrees, bachelor degrees or undergraduate studies are done in German.
German.
They are taught in German, except in a few cases that they teach in English. So at the bachelor's level, everything is in German. So if you want to come to Germany to study your bachelor's, first of all, you must have the language certificate. You must do the Deutsch course in Ghana, Goethe Institute, have the certificate B2 or C1 before you can be enrolled into the program. But since you are not talking about that, let me jump to the graduate
Before
level.
somebody asks for what is B2 or C1, let me clarify that for international language scoring, they have a system of scoring based on your proficiency, and it starts from A1 to C2 in most cases. And C2 is the most advanced stage, and then A1 is the
The
beginners,
lowest.
yeah,
Yeah,
the lowest or the beginner stage.
yeah,
Yeah.
So they expect you to exhibit some kind of proficiency, and you have to pass a certain level um, of the language, and that's what he said, B2 or
Yeah.
C1.
Mm,
All right,
yes.
please go
So
ahead.
let me shift focus now to the graduate level. So with the graduate level, we've spoken about the block accounts and other ones like obligation and other ones,
yeah,
or guarantor system. Now, so let me
yeah,
focus now on scholarship. So another way of funding is through scholarship. Now, when you live outside Germany, you can apply for a DAAD scholarship. It's a German word. It's a German scholarship from the Ministry of Education. And that one, you can apply no matter your age, whatever program you want to do, you apply. And then if you meet the requirements, you are given admission letter and all that for you to proceed. And then we have another one called the CAD. K A
Before
A.
you go to the card, before
Yeah.
you go to the card, with this one, do you have to apply to university separately and apply for the that, or you should apply? It's just one application
So you
for the
apply
study and the
separately.
scholarship. Okay.
You apply separately. So when you get admission letter from the university, then you use that to apply for the scholarship, and then you are asked to write. So I'll come to that later. So let me just explain the fundamentals.
Okay.
So the scholarship. So the card, we have the card. That's a Catholic scholarship, and but that one is purely for Catholic. Catholics are given priority before others come. So these are the main ones that you can, when you live outside Germany, that you can apply for. Of course, there are other ones. Now, when you come to Germany, internally, we have others. We have
Hmm.
others. So why, unless you come to Germany, you cannot get those ones. So we
Okay.
have the
So you must get
all.
admission, start the
Yes,
study program before you can look in for internal scholarship.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So we have the Paul and Maria Kramer, which is mainly for Christians, and then we have the
Okay.
promo scholarship. Yes, we have the promo scholarship, which is normally on short-term basis,
Mm-hmm.
normally 1 to 6 months, and
Mm-hmm.
students are enrolled for specific projects, for internship, and for academic competition and all that. And then
Mm-hmm.
we have the Erasmus. We have the Erasmus
Okay.
scholarship,
Yeah.
which was initiated by the EU, and it enables students to study or support education and training, youth and sport across Europe. And normally it ranges from 3 to 12 months for short stay, and then for longer periods is 2 to 12 months. You know, so those are the internal ones. And then, for example, in my university, there are scholarships for foreign students. I enjoyed it for about 4 months. At a point, I was cash strapped, so I had to apply. And
Apply.
I must say that before you get those ones, you must meet certain requirements. Your transcript,
Yeah.
you must undertake some courses. I mean, the program, you must take courses up to a certain level, you know,
Mm-hmm.
before you
Mm-hmm.
apply. Then they know that yes, indeed, you are studying, and maybe because of the study, you are cash strapped and all that. That they can help you. So I enjoyed that for about 4 months before I left the scholarship. Right. So, um, like I explained earlier, so when you get the admission after applying for the scholarship, so let's say you want to come with that scholarship or CAD scholarship. So you apply for the university, you get admission, then you apply for it. Now, when you apply for it, if it is graduate program, the graduate program, you are asked to add your transcripts, academic transcripts, that's the bachelor's.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it is the doctoral level, you add your master's transcript.
Okay.
And then you have the language certificate, that is IELTS. They also require it, IELTS. And then at the doctorate level, they ask you to add research proposal. At the master's level, they don't normally ask that one. They only ask you to write motivational letter or SOP.
Yeah.
That's the statement of
Statement
purpose.
of purpose. Mhm.
Yeah. And then you must also have a valid passport, because when you're applying, they will need a photocopy of your passport where the picture is and your details. And then you add the passport size photo. They will use it for administrative purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you attach all this, then some universities ask you to submit the application process or the application through something they call Uni Assist.
Okay.
Now, most universities are in Germany are doing that, and some are doing it directly. So Uni Assist is a platform actually where international students submit application for many German universities. And so, but of course, you have to pay a fee. Normally, 30.
I would have spoken about the application process altogether.
Exactly. I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So because yeah, that was the next one I was going to. So I
Okay.
mean, if you
Okay.
can, if you still have some information on the scholarship, or if
Okay.
Dixon or the funding, and or if Dixon Dickson wants to add something to
Oh, well,
this.
I think Ima has said quite a lot, and there are also other foundations here in Germany. They call it the Stiftungs. They also offer some support, but like he said, most of them, when you are here, you could be privileged to have access to them. So those are the things. But for the DAD, regardless of your location, you can apply for it and have
Mm,
access to it as well.
All right.
And
So,
one other positive aspect of the DAD scholarship is you are able to come with your spouse. That's
okay.
a good thing, and your children as well. It's really
Are
really
there
impressive.
are there different levels of the DAA? Because I know some people had it and I'm not sure. And also, is it a requirement that if you have the DAAD, you have to take the German course for a certain period of time before you start
Yeah,
your
yeah,
study?
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
most do that.
So at the bachelor's, at the graduate level,
Mm-hmm.
the money you are given at the end of the month is lesser than those at the doctoral level.
Okay.
So my few interaction with people that I know who came through the DAD, this is what they do. So at the master's level, as at 2021 or so, 2022, they were giving 750 euros per month. And then at the doctoral level, you are paid depending on
1,200.
the program. Depending on the program, you are giving it ranges between 1,002 euros and 1,800.
Yeah,
Okay.
And if you are lucky, it crosses to 2,000. That is
2,000.
if you are in the program that is demanding, the
demanding. Yeah,
scientific
Mm,
stuff, you know.
yeah,
Yeah. So that is how it is. Yeah, but the 1,200 and 1,800 is not monthly. It's monthly. Yes.
It's
So they pay
monthly.
you
Yeah, I'm
monthly.
monthly.
mhm,
Yeah.
Yeah.
mhm.
But at the master's level, it's less, 750. But now it has increased to 850. Yes. Yeah.
And then maybe my last question on the dad, if someone is on the dad, are they allowed to also do the 20 hours of work per week?
No. Now let me chip in this. Sorry,
Do it, but they are not permitted.
you are not permitted. First of all, now those who come through the DAD scholarship, this is the let me tell the negative aspect of scholarship. The scholarship. A lot of
In
guys.
Germany, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let
Yeah,
me tell you. I
yeah.
mean, it's the truth. I'll tell you because I was in class with a lot of them, and the kind of challenges they were going through. Now, if you're on the scholarship, one, you are not allowed to travel out of Germany without telling the secretariat, the scholarship secretariat. Every 3 months, you must write a report on what you have been able to do. And every 3 months, at the end of every 3 months, they will go for a conference in Berlin and they mark register and they check your academic your progression, academic progression. Now, if you are not doing well, they will query you. Now, there was a case a friend told me. There was this guy from Nepal. He came through DAD scholarship. The wife was pregnant at the time I told him before he left. And then the wife gave birth. So he sneaked and traveled out of Germany without telling anybody. Now, unfortunately for him, they called a meeting in Berlin and they were marking the register. His name was not, he was not there. They called, he couldn't find him. So they asked if somebody knows him. And then a friend knows him. And quickly they have to call his home,
Nepal.
Nepal, and ask whether they've seen him. And they say yes, he came home because the wife gave birth. The secretariat told him that he should be on the next available flight to Germany. Otherwise, he should consider his scholarship finished,
Cancelled.
cancelled. And so he has to fly that night and come back. Yeah, so these are the negative aspects. So when you fail like 2 or more courses, one, they will tell you you are going to be withdrawn from the scholarship. And when you are withdrawn, because you didn't come through the route of 8,000 euros or 12,000
Eight
euros,
thousand euros. Yeah.
You
guy,
can't
you find
stay.
it difficult. You really find it difficult.
Mm.
And so these are the
Unless you have the
negative.
money.
Exactly. So these are the negative
Mm,
aspects of the scholarship. I'm not discouraging anybody, but sometimes you
yeah.
need to say these things for, Yeah,
Of
the
course.
scholarship, you enjoy the money, but you must work for it.
Yeah,
So these are
I
the
mean, it's cool because if you are going to work to pay, then it will still be a lot of work. So I feel like even though you
yeah.
consider it as negative, it's still better than having to juggle between studying and then
Mm.
working full time to take care of your costs. So
And if you think you can sneak and be working whilst you are enjoying scholarship, they will catch you. The
no,
system will catch you
yeah, they will, yeah,
because
definitely,
the system is centralized. Your name goes everywhere. So
yeah,
assuming you work and they are paying insurance, what's the name? Scholarship is paying insurance already. So the
yeah,
two is going to clash. When they clash, when
yeah,
it clashes and they say, but this guy, so they will trace you and then you'll be asked to refund the money, or the scholarship secretariat will take you off the scholarship. I mean,
got
depending
it.
on their decision. Yeah. So these
Last
are the
one on scholarships. Are there university specific scholarships? And Dixon, prepare to also take us through the application process for
Yeah,
studying.
sure.
Because, yeah.
Sure.
Are there university? I know that Ima, you mentioned that um you enjoyed some benefits, and I don't think that is a complete scholarship like to take care of your studies.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like in the USA and in some countries, they have some university specific scholarship that even if you are outside, you can apply to. And when you get that scholarship, it means that the university is sponsoring you to study. Are there something of this sort in Germany?
Yeah, there
Or
is. So, like I was saying, the international office here in my university, Göttingen. So, if you apply for the scholarship, when you are here and you apply for it, now you go for interview. Of course, they will ask you, they will assess your situation before they decide whether they should give you for 1 year, 2 years, or 4 months. Like in my
oh,
case,
okay,
you
oh,
know.
okay.
So there are, and then the Paul and Kramer I talked about, they
Mm-hmm,
also, it's mainly for, okay, that one is not university. So the promo
mm-hmm,
scholarship, for example, I was saying,
mm-hmm.
is also university specific, but it's a joint something. So if your university has that promo scholarship, yeah, you can apply for it and you'll be given. And there are others. I cannot remember all. There are others. Of course,
Yeah.
every university has its own system.
A quick search, a
Departmentally,
quick search online. A quick search
yeah,
online will also provide a lot of them and
yeah, yeah,
the requirements that
yeah.
are needed. Yeah.
Departmentally, you can also get scholarship from there. Maybe from your dean or from the department itself. They will say, okay, this guy is good. We would like to, sponsor him, to,
Because I know that, for example, for PhD studies and research in the sciences, Max Plankton or some
yeah,
Max Planck
Max Planck
Max Planck's,
Institute,
yeah,
Institute,
yeah.
Max Planck
has
Institute. Yeah,
Max Planck's
institute
Institute,
has
yeah,
some of
yeah.
it.
yeah.
So I
I
think
think I think
beyond,
they had one in Bonn, and yeah, they were training quite a lot of them.
yes,
Yeah,
yes, and that pays even up to about 3,000
yeah,
euros per
yeah,
month
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
PhD candidates. But these are the neurosciences and those postdoc
of
Exactly,
science
course,
exactly,
research and
exactly.
yeah,
stuff. So
Highly
yeah,
yeah,
skilled programs. Yeah.
yeah,
And so
yeah.
when you come on the doctoral level, when you come through the scholarship, you'll be asked to go for language course for 6 months
Mm,
at a designated Goethe Institute. When you finish,
mhm,
and then you leave there to your city where you'll be staying for your program. Yeah, so that's how
okay.
it is. Same
All
as
right.
the master's level. When you get the DAD scholarship too, you also study
All
for
right.
6 months before you continue.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Dixon, let's go
yeah.
with the application procedure.
Okay, so I think the application process we have probably three ways. One
Mm-hmm.
that you can do on your own. You
Mm-hmm.
go online. Specifically, you go to daad.de, which will
Mm-hmm.
have a collection of all the universities in
Mm-hmm.
Germany and the courses they are doing.
DAAD.D, right?
DAAD
I'm putting it
dot
that.
de
Mm-hmm. Okay.
dot de. So
Okay.
it gives you a collection of all the universities in Germany, and
Mm-hmm.
you then make your selection. You can filter them to suit your search interest. Then once you're able to identify, you go to read about the requirement, and technically, once you're able to identify that, then you can hit it. Then other schools will prefer, just as Ima indicated, for you to go through the uni assist.
Mm-hmm.
It's a consortium, international consortium that assesses students' records. Then for them to tell the school that this particular student qualify for this course, then they issue a certificate with a number that you will use to apply for that program on the website of the school.
Okay.
So that is
So
also
it's
another
like
aspect.
it's like they have already evaluated your
They
credentials and give
evaluated
you
you. If you
approval.
don't qualify, they tell you you don't qualify, then
And
you will know.
do you have to pay for
Yeah,
this
you pay
service?
75 euros. You pay
Okay.
75 euros for the first school, but the
Mm.
second school, I think it reduces to somewhere 70 or 60. I'm not very
Actually,
sure.
it's 30.
I
It
don't
reduced to around 30 euros. Yeah.
30, right? Okay,
I,
that's good.
let me clarify again.
Yeah.
I don't mean the application fee. I'm
Okay.
asking for the uni assist
Yes.
Yeah.
before they
Yes.
issue. Okay, so if they issue you
For
the code,
Germany, you don't pay for application fee.
good. That's the point I wanted
Exactly.
to.
So
Yes,
you don't pay
exactly.
for any application fee. The only application fee you pay is when it is related to uni assist. Then
Mm-hmm.
you need to pay something. They have to charge you. You
Mm-hmm.
pay. You send the receipt and everything. Then, secondly, you can also decide to go through an educational consultant. Like maybe
Okay.
someone calls you, Enoch. I need you to find me a school in Germany. Then
Mm-hmm.
Enoch decides to say, okay, for the work I will be doing, I will charge you this amount, and he will do everything for you. So three ways:
Mm.
either you do it on yourself. If you don't want stress and you want someone to do for you, then you pay the person, you do it. But then there are some schools that uni assist will technically come in. Those
Mm-hmm.
schools, you will know when you go to the school's website, it will tell you you need to apply through uni assist.
Apply through the uni assist. Okay,
Yeah.
that's understandable.
According, yeah, whatever information the school provides you, then
Mhm.
you just go through. That's it.
So based on people's previous studies and what they want to study, they can search specifically for
Exactly.
the study program
Yeah.
in Germany,
Yeah.
and the schools will come up, and also based on the requirement of the school, they may decide to apply through uni assist
Yeah.
or through directly to the
Direct to
university.
the school, yes, because I remember in my case I applied directly to the school, so I had not even gotten any chance of paying a uni assist to like
In
Yeah.
my
assess my
early days,
records.
in
Exactly.
my early days looking for scholarship, I
Yeah.
also applied to Hohenheim. Is it Hohenheim?
Yeah. Hohenheim.
Okay. Hi.
Hohenheim. Yeah,
Yeah.
they have an agriculture institute there, and it was
Okay.
quite. I did apply myself, but yeah,
Mm,
I think that
yeah.
you have been very clear
Mm,
about it.
yeah.
Just a bit of details. Do you
Mm.
think can you enlighten the basic application documents that um individuals will need to file the application for study?
Okay, so Ima mentioned the statement of purpose, which technically across the world, if you want to apply for graduate programs, you need to have it to tell about your dream, the reality surrounding why the decision to pursue that course. So you need to have it. You need to certify your bachelor's certificates, your transcripts, your English proficiency. In some cases, for me, I use my English proficiency from my university, so I had nothing to do with IELTS. And then sometimes your passport, so all those petty documents, transcripts,
CV.
certificate, your CV, um, English proficiency. Yeah. So some of them don't require your CV. Others do. So depending on the requirements. So that's why I said when you go to the daad.de, you can filter, and when you go to the requirements, it will give you every information. And the good thing is you can switch to English as well. You can search for programs that are only in English and everything. It's really a collection of schools and what goes into getting into the field of graduate studies. So those are the documents. Passport, very important. It should be a minimum of 6 months valid when before submission. Your certificate, you must certify it. Your transcript, you must certify it. Your CV, even sometimes your statement of purpose, you need to also sign with your own signature, just to let them know this is your work. It means a lot to you,
Wow,
and it's definitely why you want to learn.
that's quite interesting. The signature aspect. Yeah,
Accept
Ima.
it exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dixon, are you done? Let me just
Yeah, yeah,
maybe I'm
yeah,
not done.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, you
so
can continue.
to add to Dixon's submission, you also have to add your, assuming you had the scholarship, you add the scholarship
Yeah,
letter
yeah.
from the sponsor who is funding you, and then scholarship confirmation as well. If you have a
Do
scholarship,
you apply for scholarship before application?
no, I mean you apply. Okay, so let me put it this way. Um, if you had a scholarship, say let's say you have an uncle somewhere who want to sponsor you, and
A fund, okay, a
yeah,
sponsor.
Yeah.
You mean
yeah, a
okay?
sponsor. I mean,
Not
yeah,
not 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 the
Not
traditional scholarship.
not the
scholarship,
scholarship. Yeah,
Yeah.
not the
Like a
PhD stuff.
financier.
Yeah,
A
financial.
that's
financier.
what I mean. Yeah, and then you add that letter too, and then this also brings to sharp focus something I was saying some time ago that when you are as part of the document, you must add your bank statement.
Yeah.
Now, it should be certified from the bank where your money is. Now, it should come from an individual account. It shouldn't come from a company account. Now, this is the thing. It is assumed that when the money comes from a company account, the company might be owing somebody or may not be paying tax. And when the company is found out and that money is withdrawn from the account, you might be found wanting in Germany. The person might not be able
Yeah.
to sponsor you.
Yeah.
Again, because of reliability, I mean, the money comes in and goes out. At the time you need the money for food and other things, the person might tell you there's no money in the account because the money has gone out to buy supplies and other things. So these
Yeah.
are the things. That's why they don't allow people to use company account. So the money must come from your personal account. And the personal account, if you know that you'll be traveling, maybe next year, you start building the account from now. You don't just go and drop huge amount of money in the account and print out a
Yeah.
statement.
At a go.
No,
Yeah.
yes, they will not do it. So
Yeah.
there should be a trail of deposits in the accounts every time,
Or if it
so
is
that
coming from your salary, it should
your
be
salary, and you also add
evident.
your salary, your pay slip,
Slip.
3 month pay
Yeah.
slip,
Yeah.
and all of this should be stamped and certified by your accountant,
Yeah.
and the bank statement must be signed and stamped, to authenticate it for, the visa document. So basically, this is it. Yeah.
We will come to the visa, but I think you have
So
already
so
dived in. Yeah.
I think so,
Yes.
yeah, someone is asking how to certify the certificate and transcript.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
I think for me, my school did the certificate and the transcripts as well as the English proficiency.
Your university in Germany did it, right?
No, it should be from home
Good.
country.
You can ask, yeah,
Wh-
you can
which university did that for you?
yes, UDS did the certification for me. I paid
Mm-hmm.
and they did for me. You can
Mm-hmm.
also go to the commissioner for oath,
Okay.
the
Yes.
guys who are around the court, and
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
they will do a copy, stamp and red seal it for you.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
Mm-hmm.
when the school asks you to post all those certified documents to them,
Mm.
you can do that one as well. So either the school does it for you or the commissioner for oaths do it for you. They do it at the court, so that is also valid.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
also think that, like you are saying, the courts, I think the courts also work in conjunction with the foreign ministries because
Yeah,
I had mine certified
certified.
by the foreign ministries.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for specific, I'm going to share one scholarship, Erasmus Mundus scholarship, where people will have to apply through Leipzig University. I don't know if I'm getting the
Leipzig.
name right.
Leipzig.
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 Yeah.
Pardon me. I'm pronouncing
Yeah,
it
it's
like
okay. It's
English
okay.
or whatever. Yeah. And for example, they have certain extra certification or authentication that they require people to do.
To
And
do.
with
Yeah.
this, they give them link to where specific link. I think it's for
Mm.
people from China, people
Oh,
from
okay.
India, and also people from Vietnam. But then they don't require for Ghana and other
Yeah.
related
Yeah.
countries. So
Yeah,
I
okay.
get it. Um, the question that I was going to ask is that let's say you have applied and everything at the master's level. Are they in this one is quite specific because of your experience? Are there are you required to go through any form of interview after the application process for your master's studies?
Yeah, I think some schools do. Some schools do. Some of them will interview you. Others will also let you write a test.
Mm-hmm.
They open a portal. You all go there. The questions are laid. You respond to it within a timed.
Frame.
Exactly. So once you
Time.
do that and you pass, then you go to
That's
the
it.
next level, which means you're going to. But other schools don't do it. Other schools don't do it. Once you submit your document and you qualify,
Mm-hmm.
technically you are through. But others can take you through other processes before finally issuing the certificate. I don't know if Ima has anything contrary.
Yeah. Okay. So for me, the only interview I had was when I was at the German embassy coming to.
Okay.
We will come to
Uh,
the visa. We will come
yeah.
to the visa
Okay.
aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when I came here, there was they didn't ask me any question. Yeah.
When you applied, there was no question. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also applied directly to the university, not through the
University.
university.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Now let's look at um whatever the funding source is. Let's say I got a partial scholarship, I got a DAD scholarship or CAD scholarship, or I'm using the tuition free with the block account or
The
um
guarantor.
with the guarantor. What is the visa application like after receiving your admission letter? What
So
what what
I
I
think
and I
yeah.
want us to talk about a booking appointment and
Yes. Yes.
whether the university would also send admission letter to the embassy or not, and the documents you will need to use during your visa application.
Yeah. So first, I think your admission letter is of great importance in this case, and sometimes it may happen that the school may send to them. Sometimes not. We cannot generally state that they do it across board, but what you need is your certificate, your passport, your transcripts, and almost everything you used for the application. Then you need to pick the form. Now you can do it online, but you needed to pick a form, you fill it and submit it on the day of the interview. So you book an appointment, then you go to the visa center. When it's your turn, you go in, you are being interviewed by the visa
Officer.
officer. Exactly. And once they finish, they will take every document that they need from you. And I think sometimes they preempt what document you're supposed to submit. So once you go, they take them and then that's it. So they take a decision. And for Germany, the process will come back here to the region you'll be studying. So even if you are given the opportunity to come with a visa issuance, you will come here and you realize all your documents are on your file at the immigration office. So there is that wide collaboration. You know, the German bureaucratic system, they don't really joke with those bureaucracy. So that is generally how it is. But just like Ima was saying, now I understand you need to do this online, but it's becoming very hectic as well. Booking an appointment. I understand now you need to submit your date and wait, and then they have to book the appointment for you, and it's really laborious and hectic. Seriously, it wasn't so at our time, because during our time, for me in 2017, I could just wait at dawn and I'll check the portal if
Okay.
but the German government in some few weeks ago indicated that they're establishing a web portal for visa application. So I'm sure maybe going forward things will be a little more flexible.
All right. Thank you. Ima, your
Yeah.
thought about the visa application process and
Yes.
documentation. Before, don't talk about interview because after this, I'm going to ask you about the visa interview and what they seek to achieve with the interview and how people should answer. But now let's look at the application process.
Yeah. So you mean the visa
Application, yeah.
application?
Application, the requirements and stuff,
Yes.
the
So
process.
Dixon said a lot about that. Um, so let me just add that um, proof of health insurance is also important when you are proving, when you are at the visa, as part of the visa requirement.
Health
So
insurance in Germany.
In
in Germany,
Germany.
yes.
Yeah.
So what happens is this: you are required to start or enroll on an insurance here, even though you are back in Ghana, so that when you come, anything can happen. We were told that a lady was coming down from the plane, and she missed the stairs and she fell and broke the ankle. So luckily for her, she was on insurance back from her home country. So it was the insurance that took it up. So imagine you are not in the imagine you are
Yeah.
not, you were not on she was not on the scholar, what's the name, insurance.
Insurance.
That money would have been footed by, her parents, or from her own pocket. So as part of requirements, they will ask you to prove a health insurance that will be using here in Germany. And we have two types. We have the public, and then we have the private ones. The private ones are for older students and other people, and then the public ones are for the younger ones.
And
So,
workers.
and then of course, when you apply, they will give you a code, and then you use that for the documentation. And then when you come here, then they send you, because at the time you don't have address. So when you come here, you have an address system where they post all the documents to you at home. Yeah, so basically that is it. And then Dickson talked about the language requirements you add to the document, and all that. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. And now the interview for the
Good.
visa. How is it like, and what do you think, in your estimation, they are looking out for during this interview session? And if you give us the general, and then you can give us your experience, how it went, even if there are some specific questions you remember during
Um,
the
Yeah.
interview, you can share with us. I will
Yes.
start with
Okay.
Dixon. I think he's actually frozen. So yeah, Ima.
Okay. So until Dickson comes back, let me continue.
Yeah.
Right. So it is important that the program you want to study, you know a little bit about it. You know the name of some of the courses. You know at least two professors that will be teaching the courses. At least you know, what's the name? Um, uh, the time schedules
Hmm.
for the courses.
The timetable.
And they'll ask you, so for example, they'll ask you, what are your plans after study? This is just an open question. They'll ask you, what are your plans after study in Germany? So if you say after studies I'll stay in Germany and blah, 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 they'll say no, this guy if he goes, he's not going to come back. So the decision will be, the decision of giving visa will be based on the answers you give. So when I went, they asked me I should name two professors who are going to teach some of the courses, and I mentioned them. And then they asked me I should mention at least three courses within the program that I'm going to do. And I mentioned it because I had added the timetable of that semester to the application
Application documents.
application document. So I know a little about the thing, you know. And then they also ask you, so what are your plans after study? So I told them, oh, okay, I'm going to get myself educated, developed within the German system. And indeed, when I finished, I would like to come back home and implement or help my society to progress in that direction, because I was going to study agriculture, and I'm going to add the business aspect of agriculture to the already agriculture we are doing in Ghana, so that we transform it throughout within the value chain, and then to make life comfortable for our people. Yeah, something like this is okay. And then they'll ask you again that assuming you go and you run out of funding, who is going to fund you now? So this is it. So when you are going, at the time when you are going, even though the money is coming from your personal account, you should also get somebody who will serve as a guarantor. so that he or she will follow you to the interview day. So they will ask you, so if you run out of money, who is going to sponsor you? Then they say, oh, this is my auntie, or this is my uncle, or this is my friend, my brother, or something. And then right there, they'll ask the brother, so how much do you think you can support your brother with? Should he run out of money? At the time, the person who followed me said, oh, at least he can sell like 1,000 euros. And the woman said, okay, that is fine. And then they asked him where he
Proof,
works and all
proof.
that. Yeah. And so he was a realtor, estate realtor. So he has the money. So, but they didn't ask him to prove, and they just show his ID card and they say, okay, that's fine. So those are the basic questions they will ask you. So you should know a little bit about the program you are going to do. The professors, at least, you should know their names. Not all of them, but at least 2 or 3. And then the time for some of the programs you are going to study, maybe 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning, or whatever in the evening, or whatever, And so these are the questions that they asked, And then they
All
ask you
right.
whether if you are going to return after study. Yeah. So
That was captured in after the studies. What next? Like you were elaborating that you were going to study to come and help
yes,
in Ghana. Okay.
exactly.
Okay. There is a question here I would want to you to answer before I go to Dixon about the visa
Mm-hmm.
interview experience.
Mm.
The question is, do you still need a blocked account after getting a scholarship?
No, you don't. Um, so if you have a scholarship, that is fine. But if you have the scholarship and your family is still well to do and they can still support you, then you can come and open an account here. There, the money can be flowing through. Uh-huh. It
That's
is. It
that's
is. It is.
understandable. So I think the person's question is to seek whether it's a requirement at all costs to do the block account even after getting scholarship, and the answer is no.
No.
The actually the scholarship is going to cater for your living
Insurance.
expenses and all
Yeah.
the insurance. Uh,
Mm.
that is what you need the block account for. And so if it's covered by the scholarship, then you don't need to do it again.
Mm.
Okay, Kojo,
Yeah,
you changed the phone, right?
yeah, exactly, exactly. I
Uh,
had to do that. I think that laptop was disturbing me.
uh,
Mm.
no
Yeah.
Yeah,
problem. Yeah,
yeah.
now to you about the experience, the visa interview experience, and what
My
they seek to achieve.
mine was a naughty one. Mine was a naughty one. I think during that time, I think I had changed my passport, so everything went well. We had a good conversation. Then they asked me if I have changed the passport, and I said yeah, but I really can't locate the passport. So this woman kept taking me round and round and round it, trying to let me confess that yes, I have the passport, even though I told her I don't have it. So she will go to step 10 and come back to step 5, and I'll repeat the same thing. She was just going around with me, and I told her the only thing I can get for her is a biodata page and just an empty page from the old passport because I had it in my email. That's what I can give her. And she was like, "Oh yeah, but you should have reported a missing passport." And I said, "Yeah, definitely. I know I should have, but I didn't because the biometric one was already in the system. So I decided to take advantage of it." So I think after the interview, they asked me about the school, they asked me about the professors, just like Ima mentioned. They asked me about what I know about it, my plans. And when they ask you about your plans, you must always remember it must align with the SOP that you wrote. It is very, very important because this is the intent you are displaying to the school. So obviously they need to know that, hey, this is what you said here, and you are repeating the same thing. So you must make sure everything you say about your intent, why the purpose for the study, to align or match with the SOP. It's very, very important. So for me, after the interview, they still wrote on a sheet for me to submit the old passport. But then, frankly speaking, when I stepped out and they asked me about it, I told them I've already informed the visa officer that passport is not there. So even when I had not received anything from them for almost 8 weeks, I thought probably that was the reason, but it wasn't. And then they asked me to submit my pay slips as well and personal bank statement, which I did after. So I gave it to one of my guys in Accra to submit it on my behalf, and they received it. So basically, for the interview session, it's quite flexible, unless you want to make it quite complicated. Once
You
they
have to
ask
be
you a
consistent,
question,
like you said. You have to be consistent
exactly,
with the answers you give.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's it. Once they ask you a question and you don't know, do not force to get an answer. If you do not know, do not
you don't know.
force to get an
Yeah,
answer. Do not lie. Just be honest with what you've been asked. Don't try to sugarcoat it to let it appear juicy to them. It is not what interests them. So, yeah, naturally, that's it.
Yeah, thank you. But I feel
sorry,
like
let me ask.
before you come
Okay,
in, Ima,
okay.
um, I feel that there is a certain level of preparation that the interviewee should undergo to not go and mess up. Like if we
Yeah,
ask you question about your professors or the courses you are going to study and you cannot explicitly answer them, it
answer.
shows
Yeah,
that you are not even prepared to go and study.
Exactly,
You're not
yeah.
an
exactly.
academic material or something. You just use it trying to find a way
To
to
escape.
get out of
An
the
escape
country
route.
or something. Yeah. So
An
it's
escape
very
route.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like you said, there are questions that you may genuinely not have an answer. So
Answer
and you
to.
don't have to.
Yeah.
But for these,
Yeah.
especially getting these tips, you must
Yeah.
always prepare to know more about the study
Of
program.
course. Of course.
Even if, even
Yeah.
if you are not going to study, you should be
Hmm.
able to
You
convince
should
them
know.
in the interview that you are going to study.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
That's true.
Ima,
Yeah.
Ima.
That's
So,
true.
like, just a little bit to add to what Dixon said. Now, so I said earlier that somebody must accompany you, assuming there is a sponsor that's going to sponsor you. That sponsor must also present himself or herself at the embassy. Now,
What if
you
the
should.
person is not in Ghana?
Okay, that's an extreme case. I don't know what they will do
Yeah.
after that with that.
I think
But if
Ima,
the person is,
sometimes they can even tell you anytime the person comes, you can come with him. Yeah, just to show his face and for them to know him.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sometimes.
So
But
yeah,
rarely,
sometimes.
yeah, rarely does it happen. So
Yeah, but it's happened to me, so that's what I'm saying.
okay.
So yeah, you have to. The person must follow you to the embassy, and you must know a little bit about the person
Mm,
because they'll ask the person, how well do you know this guy? What is his name?
mm,
Where does he
yeah.
live? And basic little things, about the person. So you must know it because otherwise, man, you'll be found wanting.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm.
All right. Okay.
Mm.
So thank you so much, and maybe we are going to wind up. But based on your experiences and all that you have gone through, would you advise someone who is seeking an opportunity to study abroad to use the German route?
Yeah.
And I know I don't expect just a simple yes or no
Yeah.
answer with
So yeah.
explanation.
So Enoch, yes, I would say yes. Cost wise, yes. Um, Work after school wise, yes. Um, for Germany, even after school, and you have to switch to working permit compared to how much people are paying in the UK, the outrageous prices. You don't see that here. Definitely, once you get a job, and now the new law permits you to get any valid contract to extend your visa after school, which is okay, which is very
Yeah,
positive.
not
But
necessarily at
when
your
when
field
you
of study. Yeah,
exactly. But when you compare to the UK, and now even if you postgraduate permit, you are paying almost like £6,000, which I really don't understand what that signifies. So and for Germany, the only restriction which people will be deterred from probably coming is the language. But believe me, when I was coming to Germany, the only thing I could understand, the only German word that I could understand was danke. That was the
okay.
only word, yeah, that I
Yeah.
could understand. But trust
Mm.
me, when I came, I decided to do online German study via YouTube. And after 3 months, I started speaking until I decided to go for my German course, did my B1, and now I can read, I can speak, I can
You have B1.
understand.
Yeah, they make lazy.
Yeah,
You.
yeah. Ich habe B schon.
Oh,
Und
okay, that's
natürlich, ich
good.
muss
That's
die
good.
B2 auch machen. Aber
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Thank
You
you,
yeah,
will
thank
add
you.
five.
yeah.
And I feel like, yeah,
Oh, good.
like you said, if you want to be very prominent in the job market, then the German
Learn
is
the
very
language.
much needed.
Learn the
But
language. It
but
is a key.
mhm,
Let me stress on this. There are so many opportunities here in Germany. The only key to unlocking these potentials is the language.
language.
Language is identity, is everything to them, and they want to promote their language, especially to the
Oh,
foreigners.
sorry.
So once you come and you're able to learn, then you begin to take advantage of all the opportunities. So for anyone looking forward to coming to Germany, just make it a point. Dream of learning German, and it becomes an international language for you. If for nothing at all, it's something that will be part of you for life. So don't be scared. Don't think about the German language as top one, but dream about it as an opportunity to break the locks and just make sure you get what you want. And there are so many opportunities, so many opportunities here after school. And yeah, that's it.
All right. Before I go to Ima, let me answer Mamata Portia. Actually, GRE is a kind of aptitude test for graduate studies. It's called graduate record exams. It's not entirely a measure of English language proficiency. So you cannot substitute a GRE for IELTS or TOEFL.
Yeah.
They are two different things. And
I think most schools in the US are much more into the GRE and
GRE, exactly.
BMATs and yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
But even so, those universities, if you are presenting GRE, you are presenting it as an extra requirement. It
of
doesn't take
course.
away
Yeah,
IELTS or
yeah,
TOEFL.
yeah,
So if you are intending to apply um, um, to study in Germany and you don't want to um, write the IELTS or you don't have it, you should look for university that might not require you to provide that,
yeah.
especially if you are coming from an English speaking
Speaking
country
country.
or a university where you were predominantly taught in
English.
English.
Yeah.
You can find that option. Otherwise, if your university required IELTS, you have to write it. You cannot substitute that with a
Yeah.
GRE.
Yeah, so that's why when we began with the school search, I indicated that when you go to the DAAD .de page, you read about all the requirements. So once you satisfy all the requirements and you are certain that you have every information that you can provide or every document that you can submit in respect of the application, then you go for it. If not, you look for other opportunities as well.
Yeah, please keep your questions coming. We're almost winding up, and now from Yima, we will be taking their final words. And I want to encourage you to bring your questions so that they can answer before we end here.
Yeah.
So Yima, yeah, would you advise yes or no, and why?
Of course, I will advise that you should come for higher learning here in Germany because one, um, look comparatively, if you look at the whole European Union, Germany seems to have
It's the
they have
biggest
that
economy in
yeah
the European
in
Union.
Europe, and of course they have made the system such a way that food is so cheap that the poorest of the poor can even afford it.
Until Russia and Ukraine war.
Yes, yes. So if you have €5, you can buy milk, you can buy bread, you can buy egg, you know, to eat, to cook something to eat, So like I was saying, I would advise everybody to come if you have the chance to come and study. You will love it. What mingling yourself within the I mean this the system, the culture, the people, the language, the food and everything. I mean, it makes it so unique, And Dixon has said a lot. I don't have enough to say, so
Yeah.
I will encourage you to come. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Mm,
one more thing, I think, we need to let our viewers understand that, look, if you want to begin the journey towards schooling in Germany, it's about preparation.
Mm.
It's not
Yeah.
a hasty process.
Yeah.
It's not
mhm.
That,
something that you wake up one morning and you feel, oh, the next one
I
month
need
or
to
three
do it.
months I want to travel. No,
I agree with you.
exactly. Tell yourself this is the project you are embarking on. It could be 1 year, it could be 2 years. Look at the case of Ima. He had to use the next year to do everything. So don't be in a rush. That hasty decisions is what sometimes becomes quite problematic for some people. So just give yourself like a year and tell yourself, I'm preparing towards this. This is how much I need. I need to get to people who can support me. Once you get all these things together, getting the admission will be the easiest thing because the whole thing is about money.
yeah.
Once you have the money to prove that you can take care of yourself, you are good to go. So
Yeah.
don't be in
Because
a
that
rush.
money will be
Take your
helping the
time.
economy too. Yeah.
Exactly. We are also building the economy with the monies that
Yeah.
we bring
Yeah.
in. So
Yeah.
so they are interested in it. So just take your
Mm,
time, know the programs you want to come here for. You can
mhm,
decide to apply to 3 schools or 4 schools, and sometimes
mm,
if you know people here, ask them about the regions, which ones are more student friendly, which ones are friendly to international students, where is job search not quite difficult,
mhm.
and all that. Do those background check, ask people, and sometimes when you ask and they tell you the bitter truths and the sweet ones, don't think that probably they don't want you to come, but accept all of them and weigh the options. And definitely, once you come, it will be a merry-go-round for you, if not at all, something good.
Mm. Yeah.
The more reason why I wanted to talk about this with you guys is because sometimes some people are too focused on finding scholarships that they stay
Yeah,
home for five
yeah,
years or so and they're
yeah,
not getting the scholarship. But
yeah.
there are other options that are available, like what you guys enjoyed. And
Enoch,
I
let me
yep.
let me tell you what this secret. So I have a friend who is currently a PhD candidate in Australia. He
Mhm.
he he was very fortunate to get the Erasmus Mundus scholarship. And you know what happened? He has been stressing to apply for scholarship for so many years. It wasn't
I
working.
love you.
One day, yeah, one day he just saw a pop-up and a scholarship pop-up, and he just handed in the application. Believe me, he thought it was just a scam, but it turned out to
No, it's
be,
not.
yeah, it turned out to be what was really for him, and he got
Bro,
it. So he came. Yeah,
bro,
it
let
was
me tell you
interesting.
myself. I was also searching for scholarship since
Yeah.
I was a teaching assistant in
Mm,
2012, right?
mm,
I was searching after teaching assistantship. I came home, started working for Samsung. I was still searching in 2014,
Mm.
just searching, and something came up. Check
yeah,
government scholarship for
yeah,
Ghanaians.
yeah.
I applied, and then I was
It
successful.
worked. Yeah,
You
it
know,
worked. Yeah,
so yes, that is there. But also, if you don't have the strong grades to put you ahead in scholarship,
yeah.
you can use some of these routes
That's it.
to
That's it.
secure your
Yeah.
future study abroad. And
Especially when even in your own country you need to pay before you are granted scholarship, so you
yes,
you, you
yes,
understand what
I,
it means. Yeah,
this
yeah,
matter, if you want to talk,
yes.
we don't go close
yeah,
to.
yeah.
And
Maybe
out
one day we'll have time to talk about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is what it is, but then yeah, we move.
and I feel like sometimes the experiences you gather studying abroad, not
Yeah,
even in the classroom, the
no,
classroom
no,
setting can be
no.
very different. When I
Yeah.
came to study basic basic Excel, how we had something we call seminars. It's like
Mm.
we had the theoretical teaching, and
So
then we have the
yeah.
practical aspect.
Mm.
I didn't even know how to use this Excel, and
Yeah, yeah.
always our lecturer will be going around and be helping
Mm.
us,
Yeah.
right? But all my classmates from the Czech and from Europe and stuff, basic things they could
Basic
do and
things.
stuff.
Yeah. Then you. Yeah.
Outside the classroom experience, when you
Mm.
step outside, the culture, the things that you will learn,
Yeah.
it's cool. It's cool. So I feel like if you can get a sponsor and you can have free tuition.
Yeah.
And when you come, you can manage some 20 hours of work
Oh, of
to take
course,
care of
of course.
yourself.
Yeah, yeah. It helps
You
a lot.
don't have to wait by all means for scholarships. Scholarships are good for sure,
It's
but if
good.
you
Yeah.
cannot get it, don't
You,
don't
you know,
don't.
look at the UK, for instance, where people are paying almost £1,000 a month to their schools, and you are only permitted to work for like 20 hours a week. You know, for
That's
UK,
too
if you are
expensive.
caught, exactly, if you are caught working more than that, you could be expelled. And
I
so
tell
you can
you,
imagine. Exactly. So the reason why sometimes I look at the German situation and I feel it is really ideal, because if you can spend like almost £20,000, £15,000 to go to the UK, why not use it for your block account, whereby the money
Exactly.
is yours? The money is
Exactly.
your money
Even if you
is
decide
your.
not to work, you will be spending just that money. I
Exactly.
agree with
That's the
you.
thing.
I agree
That's the
with
thing.
you.
It makes sense. It makes sense to opt for Germany rather than the UK or the US. Yeah, it's really, but it's all about interest and
Hmm.
and probably the options available to some people, maybe family ties and all that. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Ima, any
yeah.
final words and I mean,
So
to
in
our
concluding,
listeners and all that.
yeah. So in concluding, I first of all, I'd like to thank you for this opportunity to come to share my experiences and also take our viewers and listeners through the steps to come into Germany. Um, I will encourage everybody who is watching in similar situation like I
Don't
was.
don't pause yet. Don't finish yet. There's an interesting question that you guys can help.
Okay.
Uh, Akpene has it? I think it's a she. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, I got admission to two universities. One in Rhineland,
Rhineland,
Rana Palatina.
Palatinate. Yeah, it's a state. It's a
Yeah.
state. Yeah.
And
and the
Hessen.
other has. Okay,
And
so
the other
guys,
one is
you can
Hessen.
read already. Yeah.
Hessen,
And
Hessen,
Hessen,
Which of
Hessen
them?
is here in Frankfurt.
yeah, Hessen is Frankfurt. I
Wiesbaden.
live in
Yeah. So
Niedersachsen. Yeah.
she should come here. She should come to Hessen.
And which of
Oh,
these states are student friendly?
She should
Okay.
come to Hessen.
So, okay. I live in Lower Saxony or Niedersachsen. The
mm-hmm,
laws in Lower Saxony are a bit
mm-hmm,
harsh compared to Hessen
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
because, for example, immigration laws are a little bit harsh, you know,
mm-hmm.
uh, compared to Hessen. So sometimes, the last time I was renewing my resident permit, I had to go move from Lower Saxony to Hessen, where I was able to get a good number of years for my resident permit. Unlike
Oh, okay.
in Lower Saxony, I would have been given half of it less than that, you know. And then, of course, uh, I don't know. Hessen, I don't know if Hessen is bigger than Lower Saxony. I've not
But
really
I have no
studied that.
idea. I have no
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
We
Hessen
have
is
to check.
where Dickson is. If she's watching or he's watching,
Yeah.
it's a hub, it's a industrial hub, if I should say.
The
And
financial the
Yes.
financial hub.
yes, and things are
Yeah.
very expensive there.
I
If I
was
Yeah.
must
going
have,
to ask that because also probably she is coming to fund herself, and in terms
Yeah.
of cost of living,
yeah,
that
Oh,
might
but
be more
it
expensive.
will be okay. It will be okay.
But
But
yeah.
ideally, I think Rhineland Westphalen is the
Mm,
best for international students. Because I lived there for like almost 6 years. I can tell you,
okay.
is the best for international students. Bonn,
oh,
Düsseldorf, Cologne, like all these cities, and we have quite a lot of Ghanaians living in that region as well. So when
Mm.
when you come there, it's also help. But for these two, I will ask you to come to Hessen in
Yeah,
case maybe
I
you need
also
you need further.
encourage him to go to Hessen because
Exactly,
Hessen,
exactly.
you guys enjoy a lot of holidays. I don't know why.
Hey, yeah, it's good. It's good. It's really good.
Yeah,
the same country, different holidays for different
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Every state. There are some
Every state
there are some
has,
holidays that cuts across. Some are region specific. Maybe the whole country, only three regions are having that holidays, and yeah. So that's German for you.
yeah.
All
Yeah,
right, all
Yeah,
right.
but
yeah.
I'm not
A
scaring him or
question.
her. You can in Hessen, you can stay at a low cost area. It's not
Of
necessary that you go
course.
to Frankfurt
Of
or
Well,
course.
I think it
Yeah.
also depends on where the university is. But
Exactly.
now
exactly,
she
Exactly.
just
exactly.
gave
Yeah.
the broad
Yeah.
area region.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah, okay.
Dex Dixon,
Yeah.
you specifically said in your experience that
Yeah.
you met your friend who knew someone who
Oh
was
yes.
ready to
Yes. Yeah.
guarantee for
Guaranteed
you.
for me. Yeah. Yeah.
Will you guarantee for a non-listener here?
Uh, for me, in my
Or
situation,
or you
I wouldn't say yes for now, even though I could, but certain family ties wouldn't
responsibilities?
permit me to do that now. But maybe in the future, or yeah, I could easily do that for other people.
All
Yeah.
the other
So for
okay.
me,
Mm-hmm.
the resident permit I am on does not permit that yet.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So yeah, I have my resident permit is EU card, EU blue card.
Oh,
The
oh,
blue card,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
which enables me to work within the
Work
EU
in
anywhere,
EU.
and
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
then I can move around and other things. But
Mm-hmm.
there are some strings attached to it, so
Yeah.
you cannot do certain things. Yeah, yeah,
And on the other side, I think an aspect of that question would have been um which I know is tricky, and of course you can be very sincere
Yeah.
and genuine.
Yeah.
If for example a Ghanaian gets admission and stuff and they need this guarantor,
Guarantor,
there
yeah.
people within that you can connect them to talk to see the way forward or something of a sort.
Yeah, there is, but then there are other strings, which
I
of course I
I know.
have on team.
I
Yeah, so
Metias
exactly, exactly.
Metias as
So
well.
yeah, so you
Opa
can talk
Metias
about
can
it
chi.
much.
Yeah, yeah.
No, unim Ghana for.
Ah,
Oh yeah,
yeah, okay,
yeah, just
Matias.
open power munsem, and
Matias,
that's the
yeah.
thing.
mm,
But it's something
Matias.
that costs less than 100 euros. I think it's about 26 or even 30 something to get. It's just a normal document. I will share mine with you subsequently. It's just a simple document just to prove
Oh, okay.
how
Oh,
much you're
okay.
earning and if you're paying your taxes and everything, and if after paying your rent and all that
You
you
have
can still
enough
manage to
to.
give this person this, and that's it. Then they
yeah.
issue the document for you.
Mm.
That's it.
Is that no
Yeah, but
obligation?
yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
that's
verpflichting
it.
erklärung. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, very clear. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So Ghana man will always want to milk. So yeah.
Ima,
yeah.
now you can conclude your part and then we will be
Yes.
winding up.
So let me repeat again that thank you very much for the opportunity to do this presentation, and for our viewers watching from across the globe, we thank you very much. And whatever we said here, we've
I'm
experienced.
always interrupting, but yeah, go on.
Oh, you say okay, come since you are the one
No, no,
hosting. It's okay.
mine will be the last part because
Okay,
I
and
think what I gathered from you, I want to share with them just the
snap it.
salient point I want them to
Mm,
take. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So wherever they are watching, I encourage them to uh, come to Germany if they feel the need to do that. And of course, like Dixon said, you have to plan way ahead of time. That's if you are unable to get the scholarship. The money, now the euro is very high in Ghana now, so it takes time to build up your account. And so, if you are joining now, just take the video, watch from the beginning, and the steps we've listed, you follow and do everything. And of course, the experiences we've shared are the ones we've gone through personally, and these are personal experiences and can apply to everybody at any time. So just take the video, watch it, and then do as we stated. And don't forget never to give up. Yes, thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank Thank you. Actually, that's exactly what I was going to because I feel like apart from being too busy, this study abroad things can be done by yourself. And that's why I brought these two persons. They did every application by themselves. I know there are people out there charging exorbitant prices and promising visas and stuff, but listening to this and seeing the experiences they went through, it's something doable that everybody can do with some guidance. Probably for us, we learned several times from our mistakes and got it right at a point in time. But fortunately for our listeners, they may not have to learn from the experiences. They may have to learn from the experiences of people who have done it before and also be able to successfully apply. Let's take this last question from Akpene. If I
Mm.
have already enrolled in a school A, but I have received admission to school B, which I prefer, can I cancel my enrollment in school A and enroll in school B?
I think it depends. So if if you want to go to school B and you are given the enrollment, of course, why not? You can cancel it, or if you have the strength, the capacity, you can do the two together. I mean, so at the end of the day, you have two certificates. So
Yeah,
there's
but
no fast and hard rule about this.
I don't know exactly in Germany how it will work, but usually when in some states when they give you in some countries when they give you a visa for specific program or stuff and you are
Yeah.
changing, you will need
Yeah.
to go through some extra processes
Yeah.
to
Processes.
to,
Yeah.
to notify the
Yeah.
immigration
Immigration of a
Yeah,
switch,
and
a school
and
switch.
the switch.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
It's true.
also too, if you are studying on scholarship in school A,
You can't
and
do that
it,
too.
you yeah
Yeah.
you cannot unless you
Yeah.
are studying on your own. So
Yeah.
On your own. Yeah.
Akpene, you can always reach out to me. I would give you my advice as much as possible. If I don't have all the information, I will contact this gentleman here to seek their view and I would respond to you accordingly. I'm going to share, and Frank Frederick Entry is congratulating you guys, and then Houston, he's happy to see you share
Okay.
your experience. I
Thank you.
mean, knowledge is for sharing, if not,
Yeah.
what else? So we really do appreciate your time and your commitment to share with those who intend to study abroad so that they can gain the insight and they can know or they will know where to start from. Thank you very much. If there is any
Thank you.
final words from any of you, you can. If not,
Yeah. I think let everyone pursue their dreams.
Yeah.
If you think eh, going outside for your graduate studies is the best for you, just do it. But like I said, plan ahead.
Mm.
Don't just be in a haste. Just plan ahead, and everything will fall into place.
Yeah.
get all the necessary documents,
Yeah.
get all you need to know
Yeah.
about the program, and
Yeah.
prepare towards it. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you all guys for joining
All right.
us for today. Next week we are bringing two experts from Canada, um, a doctor and a master student, and they're
Okay.
gonna tell us also the opportunities in Canada
In
for
Canada.
international students. So
All right.
um, don't we will start at 6 p.m. GMT next week, I think.
Yeah.
So don't forget to subscribe and connect when the time is due. Thank
All
you
right.
all for your time.
Thank you.
God
Thank
Bye
bless
bye.
you.
you.
Enoch,
See
and
you
bye
next
bye,
week.
Ima.
Bye. Thank you,
Bye.
Dixie. Charlie,
Ciao,
before
ciao.
connecting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
should
Sure.
connect.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. We will. We
Okay.
will.
I'll get the number from the platform. So later.
No problem. No problem.
All right.